Oh, we got to have fun with this. Niner gang down. Niner gang down. Niner down.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Wait a second. How did the Super Bowl go again? Wait a second. Was Brock Purdy hurt in this game? Was that the reason why they lost? I don't know. But what I saw was a pretty good game. I gotta say it was a great game. But obviously this is because we have to do it, right? As Eagle fans, we have to do this because of all the crap that's been taken. And yes, I know the Eagles suck. Yes. To the other fans out there, of course I know the Eagles didn't make it. Of course, we lost the last 7 games. The 49ers were the reason for the Eagles' downfall. The 49ers had the blueprint for the Philadelphia Eagles and all that crap that's been said. And you know what? I've took it like a man for 7 weeks, and I'm perfectly fine with that. But once you give it, you gotta take it, okay? You got to take it as well. And the San Francisco 49ers lose 22-25. And Shanahan looking like the biggest choker ever and still is for the San Francisco 49ers. Still in their drought. Had this monster roster, so much depth, so many signings. And still, Mr. Irrelevant couldn't get it done. Okay, now this came down to turnovers, really, at the end of the day. That's what it came down to. It came down to Christian McCaffrey on that fumble in the first series, which was huge because they were right there. And they were inside the 10, whatever it was. KC took a while for their offense. I thought they got into their own heads a little bit throughout the game. But, once we got into that second half, a missed extra point. There were a lot of things that really, having the second time in NFL history, you get this game into an overtime, was pretty damn crazy. And yet, KC is still on top, man. This was a hard Super Bowl to watch at the end of the day, because I don't like the Chiefs, obviously, and I don't like San Francisco, but I felt like San Francisco fans needed to be humbled. Their fans were the ones that said, hey, we'll show you how to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. That's what they said. And, well, I didn't see much. I didn't really learn much. But, hey, it is what it is. So, hope the 49er fans are feeling really good about this. I guess, they got there. We've done it. We've got to the Super Bowl and lost. So, I get what that feeling is. Does it count for anything? When you win it, it's a totally different story. I get it. But their coach is a fraud. Their franchise is a fraud. And their players are going to go home crying their eyes out and be thinking about this for weeks. Okay? And it just made me feel so great. Now, on top of everything else, okay, when you look at the 49ers, what they've done this offseason, the whole year, and it's been a good year for them, obviously. When I want to keep things real, they had a fantastic year. And Brock Purdy has showed a lot of things, has gotten better. Gotten through, only a stint where they lost, 2 or 3 games straight when they had some injuries offensively. But they came back pretty nicely. And, and I think they're more of obviously a regular, season type team that does really well. But, getting to that big game, that's where it matters at the end of the day. It was nice to see Debo crying. It was nice to see Christian McCaffrey pissed off. And Brock Purdy just knowing that he couldn't get it done was fantastic. So I'm hoping he doesn't need any Tommy John surgery or anything like that. I hope he's okay. All right. I hope he's fine. You know what I mean? But what I really loved about it were the Philadelphia Eagles players were trolling the hell out of Deebo Samuel because Deebo talked that talk. Talked the talk, and Fletcher was all over the place on social media. I mean, just all over the place, saying this, saying that. I'm not going to say it, but, it's just funny, and everyone's kind of letting loose now. The Eagles got their ass kicked the last 7 games. I get it. You know what I mean? But I don't care. This has nothing to do with the Eagles. This has everything to do with the 49ers and having them show us how to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Okay? This is what we didn't want. We didn't want a Kansas City Chiefs 49ers Super Bowl at the end of the day. Okay? The one thing, okay, that really pissed me off, and I'm done with the Niner fans, Niner gang, I'm done. Niner Empire, I'm done. It's like, seriously, take the loss, walk away. I know they're stunned right now. I know they're pissed off. I know there'll be some in this comment section that are more than pissed off. And a closer year to where they have to pay Brock Purdy, because you know what? A couple more years and they have to pay him. And it's going to be a hefty contract. And the only reason why they have really a good roster is because they can afford to do it, because they don't have to pay a quarterback right now. And that's one of their main things. So that's what they can get away with the next 2 years after this year, but wasting another year, NFC Championship game, getting hurt, choking, and then choking in the Super Bowl, which is fantastic. I absolutely love it. Nobody will change my mind. I want those Niner fans to cry so much. And trust me, when it was the Chiefs and the Niners, it was a very hard game to root for somebody, but as much as I have to swallow my pride for some reasons, I somewhat care about Andy Reid. I somewhat care, I don't know, because Jason Kelce's brothers, Travis Kelce, in some regard, unless they're facing the Eagles, it's a different story. But the Niners, their players talking shit, and their fans that just don't shut up ever, and hopefully this does for a few months at least, will get the job done, okay? Now, here's the one thing that really bothered me, which and it's weird because I almost want the 49ers to win this game after a specific thing happened in this game that everybody's raving about. It's literally turning into a meme at this point. When Pacheco fumbled the ball, okay, Pacheco fumbled it, Travis Kelce goes to the sideline and pushes Andy Reid, almost knocking him over. I mean, it was getting to that point where he almost knocked him over, and you start yelling in his face. I mean, just pushing him, just at least pushing your head coach. Andy Reid's not young, okay? He's not some young guy that's gonna get back in his face. And trust me, he probably could have if it was in the regular season, maybe. But in this important moment, and this was when Travis Kelce only had like one reception at this time. Okay, as soon as he did that and they showed the replay of this, I actually was like, man, imagine if an Eagle player did this shit. Just imagine that. And it was so funny because I went on Twitter at the same time, or on X, I should call it, and I saw that A.J. Brown tweeted out. It was going viral. He tweeted that if that was me, I would have been kicked out of the league. And you know what? He's not wrong at all, because he would have. Just guys, Eagle fans are getting pissed off that he didn't talk to the media for 2 weeks. Eagle fans got pissed off because he was venting to Jalen Hurts on the sideline. Eagle fans are new Eagle fans, or Eagle fans that are soft fans. I don't know what type of fans these people are, if they've even watched football for that long, because everyone thinks if you vent to a player or vent to a teammate, how are they supposed to fix things? Are they supposed to sit separate and, just not talk to each other and hold all this in? Because what happened after A.J. Brown talked to Jalen Hurts on the sideline? Remember? Everyone's like, oh, fire him. He's a cancer. All these idiots making videos, all these idiots putting out stupid articles on how he should get traded and fired and blah, blah, blah. He didn't show up to this and he didn't do that. People need to chill out. If A.J. Brown did this, then I would be pissed. And I hope Travis Kelce apologize. I don't care what he did at the end of the game, okay? He better apologize to Andy Reid. That was fucking bullshit. That was just something where you can't make an excuse for that, okay? You went up to him and pushed him. I mean, thank God he didn't push him. I mean, if he pushed any harder, he probably could have pushed Andy Reid on his ass, and that would have been one of the biggest embarrassments ever to happen in a Super Bowl, okay? And I hope he does apologize. And I understand, like, everyone's going to be talking about this, so I figured, let me talk about it because, A.J. Brown tweeted something out about it. And just imagine if A.J. Brown did this during a game. Fucking Eagle fans would go crazy. Eagle fans would want him out in 2 seconds. I mean, it wouldn't even be in question what fans would even think about that. A.J. Brown could just have a venting session with Jalen Hurts on the sideline and everyone saying that he's a cancer. Seriously, A.J. Brown could not talk to the media for 2 weeks, and everyone thought it was disrespectful or seriously I mean, the players have went up to the coaches behind the scenes to ask to change the play calls, and they weren't getting the answers every week. So you know what? Instead of talking to the media, he just decided not to. Whether he talks, it makes it worse. Whether he doesn't talk, it makes it worse. These players, all that AJ Brown did really during that time was he put more pressure on the coaches and the team by him not talking, because it brought up more of stories and more bullshit and more BS to put out on articles and things on Twitter and everywhere else that you could read any of your daily news. Okay? Players argue on the sideline. It's fucking normal. I've played college football. I've seen it. I've done it. I've done it in even high school. It's the same shit. I've seen guys argue, but it's not arguing. It's just venting. It's let's get this shit right. Because after AJ Brown had that little thing with Jalen Hurts on the sideline, guess what he did? He had six games with 125 plus yards each. Okay, breaking Calvin Johnson's receiving consistent record for 6 weeks of it's crazy. It's crazy. Because the camera's pointed to certain guys, it makes it look bad. That shit that happened, that shit was bad. That shit being caught on camera, that was really bad. Beyond bad. You don't ever put your hands on anybody. Speak, talk, and talk. Coaches yell at players, players yell at coaches, players yell at other players, but don't put your hands on somebody because you want the football. That was the most self-centered shit I have ever seen from anybody. If you're gonna push somebody, go push your quarterback. If that's the case, go to your quarterback. And I understand Andy Reid's the play caller. I get it. But go to your quarterback and talk to him. Have a thing with him. Maybe Mahomes could talk to I don't know, something. Talk to Andy Reid or something like that. But that was kind of unforgiving. Like, I thought that was selfish, really just a scumbag type move to why even put yourself in that position? I mean, it's already enough that your name is as big as it is right now with all the Swifty Chiefs out there. Okay, and every time I gotta look at her ugly ass face, you know what I mean. But every time I gotta look at her face, every single time he gets a catch or they score or whatever, his name, the cameras are on you nonstop of your everyday life, because now you put yourself in a crazy situation. Okay, just saying. So I didn't like that. AJ Brown, the Eagle fans would run him out of town, and I would be the only one sitting there. Maybe not, but I would be, in my own opinion, I would be the only one sitting there defending him to the bone. If this happened, I wouldn't defend him at all. If this happened, I would never. That would be it for me. That would be like, man, that you don't put your hands on anybody. I don't care. Yeah, I mean, not even a coach. I mean, a coach is fine. Like, I've seen players put their hands on each other on the field if, like, someone causes a penalty or, like, you shove somebody. Like, dude, what are you doing? Like, something like that, which is, like, not great. But, you're not trying to hurt somebody. You're just shoving it, whatever. But I'm not saying that Kelce was trying to hurt him, but damn, that was really bad. I thought that was a really, really bad look. So.